Hi friends, it's Mrs. Darwin from Towson Presbyterian Preschool. I am going to read to you today a very beautiful book. It won an award, I think, for the pictures, so I really hope you enjoy them. It's called Blueberries for Sal by Robert McCloskey. It's an oldie but goodie. In fact, I'm going to show you a picture. When you open it up, this picture shows an old-fashioned kitchen, doesn't it? The mom and the little girl are making blueberry preserves. They're canning. That's how people saved food back when not everybody had a freezer or a refrigerator. So you cooked it and put it in jars, and it could save on your shelf during the winter time. So I really like that. Actually, I think this book is by the same person who did Make Way for Ducklings. That's a book I already read to you. All right, let's get started. One day, little Sal went with her mother to Blueberry Hill to pick blueberries. Little Sal brought along her small tin pail, and her mother brought her large tin pail to put berries in. "We will take our berries home and can them," said her mother. "Then we will have food for the winter." Little Sal picked 3 berries and dropped them in her little tin pail. Ka-plink, ka-plank, ka-plunk. She picked 3 more berries and ate them. Then she picked more berries and dropped 1 in the pail. Ka-plunk. And the rest she ate. Then little Sal ate all 4 blueberries out of her pail. Doesn't sound like she's collecting very many, does it? My goodness. Her mother walked slowly through the bushes, picking blueberries as she went and putting them in her pail. Little Sal struggled along behind, picking blueberries and eating every single one. There she is, following her mom. Little Sal hurried ahead and dropped a blueberry in her mother's pail. It didn't sound ka-plink because the bottom of the pail was already covered with berries. She reached down inside to get her berry back. Though she really didn't mean to, she pulled out a large handful because there were so many blueberries right up close to the one that she had put in. So now she's taking her mom's blueberries, right? My goodness. Her mother stopped picking and said, "Now, Sal, you run along and pick your own berries. Mother wants to take her berries home and can them for next winter." So she knew what Sal was up to. Her mother went back to her picking, but little Sal, because her feet were tired of standing and walking, sat down in the middle of a large clump of bushes and she ate blueberries. On the other side of Blueberry Hill, Little Bear came with his mother to eat blueberries. "Little Bear," she said, "eat lots of berries and grow big and fat. We must store up food for the long, cold winter." Little Bear followed behind his mother as she walked slowly through the bushes eating berries. Little Bear stopped now and then to eat the berries. Then he had to hustle along to catch up. See him trying to skedaddle? There we go. Because his feet were tired of hustling, he picked out a large clump of bushes and sat down right in the middle and ate blueberries. Over on the other side of the hill, little Sal ate all the berries she could reach from where she was sitting, and then she started out to find her mother. She heard a noise from around a rock and thought, "That is my mother walking along." Do you see her looking behind the big rock? I wonder if it's her mom. But it was a mother crow and her children, and they stopped eating berries and flew away saying, "Caw, caw, Then she heard another noise in the bushes and thought, "That is surely my mother, and I will go that way." Now she's feeling a little lost, I think. But it was Little Bear's mother instead. She was tramping along, eating berries and thinking about storing up food for the winter. Little Sal tramped right along behind. By this time, Little Bear had eaten all the berries he could reach without moving from his clump of bushes, and then he hustled off to catch up with his mother. He hunted and hunted, but his mother was nowhere to be seen. He heard a noise from over a stump and thought, "That is my mother walking along." I wonder if he'll see his mother. But it was a mother partridge and her children. Can you see that? A partridge is a bird. There's the baby birds. Right there. They stopped eating berries and they hurried away. Then he heard noise in the bushes and thought, "Well, that is certainly my mother. I will hustle that way." But it was Little Sal's mother instead. She was walking along, picking berries and thinking about canning them for the next winter. Little Bear hustled right along behind. Little Bear and Little Sal's mother and Little Sal and Little Bear's mother were all mixed up with each other among the blueberries on Blueberry Hill. Can you guys see that? This is a picture of Little Sal following Mother Bear. And this is a picture of the Little Bear following Sal's mom. Little Bear's mother heard Sal walking along behind and thought it was Little Bear. And she said, "Little Bear, munch, munch. Eat all you gulp can possibly hold. Swallow." Little Sal said nothing. She picked 3 berries and she dropped them kaplink, kaplank, kaplunk in her small tin pail. Do you think Little Sal could understand Mother Bear's words? I bet they sounded like bear language. Let's see. Little Bear's mother turned around to see what on earth could make a noise like kaplunk. "Grumph!" she cried, choking on a mouthful of berries. "This is not my child. Where is Little Bear?" She took one good look and she backed away. She was old enough to be shy of people, even a very small person like Little Sal. Then she turned around and walked off very fast to hunt for her Little Bear. Little Sal's mother heard Little Bear tramping along behind and she thought it was Little Sal. She kept right on picking and thinking about canning blueberries for the next winter. There's Little Bear. Little Bear padded up and peeked into her pail. Of course, he only wanted to taste a few of what was inside, but there were so many and they were so close together that he tasted a tremendous mouthful by mistake. "Now, Sal," said Little Sal's mother without turning around, "you run along and pick your own berries. Mother wants to can these ones for next winter." Little Bear tasted another tremendous mouthful and almost spilled the entire pail of blueberries. Little Bear has his whole head in that pail. Little Sal's mother turned around and gasped, "My goodness, you are not Little Sal. Where is my child?" Little Bear just sat munching and swallowing and licking his lips. Little Sal's mother slowly backed away. She was old enough to be shy of bears, even the very small bears like Little Bear. Then she turned and walked away quickly to look for Little Sal. She hadn't gone very far before she heard a kaplunk, kaplank, kaplink. She knew just what made that kind of a noise. And Little Bear's mother had not hunted very long before she heard a hustling sound that stopped now and then to munch and swallow. She knew just what made that kind of a noise. Little Bear and his mother went home down one side of Blueberry Hill, eating blueberries all the way and full of food stored up for the next winter. And little Sal and her mother went down the other side of Blueberry Hill, picking berries all the way, and drove home with food to can for next winter. A whole pail of blueberries and 3 more besides. The end. That was the end of that book. Wasn't that funny that both the mother bear and the human mother took their little ones to look for blueberries so they'd have enough food for winter, and they got mixed up. They got the wrong babies. But it all got straightened out. So everybody had quite a day. Anyway, I love that book. It's a good one. So I was going to show you a couple things that you could do at home. I made something that looks a little like what? It's a craft, but what is it supposed to look like? Maybe a pie? This is a pie that you can make and practice with your scissors, right? You know how I made this big purple circle? I took a plate and I took a crayon or a pencil and I traced around it, but you don't have to make a perfect circle. I just did it that way. And you know how I made these little pieces of pie crust that crisscross over my pie? I took a brown piece of paper and I just cut straight lines. And I can tell you one thing, I know my class can cut some good lines. So if you were to cut some strips and crisscross them over a piece of paper and then maybe make and glue them with a glue stick, okay? Maybe make it round. Now this one, I added some blueberries because I wanted to have a little fun with paint. So I dipped my finger in blue paint. It was actually bluish purple, and I tapped it all over. But I have an even better idea. If you wanted, you could make a game out of this. And instead of using your thumb, even though I like putting my fingers in paint, and I think some of you guys do too, instead of a thumb, you could use something like this. You might have actually some round circle sponges that are like painting, paint brushes, but it's a paint sponge. But you could also use a cork. I have a lot of these at home. So there's 4 of us that live at home, and every once in a while we get a cork. So if you dip it in paint, you can add blueberries. So what you would do would test yourself. All right, take your die, roll it, and see how many blueberries you can add to your pie. I wonder if you did it with your sibling, maybe your big sister or somebody at home, your mom or your dad, maybe you could take turns. They could roll and add more blueberries. And then when it was really blueberry and juicy, maybe you'd be done. So my friends have used dies before in our class. If you haven't, they're pretty simple. You can look at how many dots are on a side, and it's only going to be up through 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you guys know those numbers really well because my class is either 3 or 4. And I know that the older kids have turned 5. So you probably know exactly what number that is, right? So that's how many blueberries you can add to your pie. So that was just a fun idea. Something crafty. I also recommend, by the way, that you actually make something like a blueberry pie or blueberry pancakes or blueberry muffins. You might not be able to go to a pick your own farm this summer, but if you can do that too, that would be amazing. I have picked blueberries and I have picked strawberries and peas and corn, and picking your own is amazing and everything tastes so much better. One more thing that I thought of. This is actually something, I put a website on an email to your mom and dad. okay? And on a website, there's a game, or there's a piece of paper that has all these little blue dots that look a lot like blueberries, only really gigantic ones, right? Oh, I would like to eat one that's that size. And you might have noticed already, these ones in this bag, I actually put some writing, writing on them. Can you see that? Number 9, number 8. Okay, so I did 1 through 20 on this pack. And in my other bag, I did the alphabet, all in big letters. Now, some of you are ready for small letters, especially the ones in your name. So you're probably going to be working on that next year. But if you are good at them and you recognize them already, you can go for it. Make your own set. And do you need to print this out from the internet? No. You can draw all your own blueberries if you want. Get your mom or dad to help with the letters. Okay, so that's letter I. You see how? I've got the whole alphabet there. Oh, cute. For my friend Quentin. All right, and I know we've got other nice letters for all my other friends. There's a B. I've got 2 B friends in my class, don't I? My goodness. All right, I can't find them all because they're kind of mixed up. But I know you guys could find your own letters in a heartbeat. So what I would do is take these and either go on a blueberry hunt, like you're hunting for blueberries. Maybe somebody will hide these for you around the room and ask you to go find C, Q, and Z, right? You can go look for letters that you know. Maybe you're gonna get them all, and then you're gonna try and put them in order. One game we've played in our room is everybody gets some bean bags with the letters on them, okay? So the whole alphabet is distributed. Now, I know you don't have 8 friends at home with you, but if you played it something like that, like you distributed it to mom and dad, or a babysitter, or your sister, or somebody, if you have a bigger one that knows their letters, you can take turns doing the alphabet, right? Everybody knows that alphabet song, and that's how if we get stuck a little bit, we sing it very slowly, like A, B, and whoever has the letter in front of them throws it in. So you would throw it into the basket. That's another way. You can either go hunting for letters and numbers, or you can share them with your family and then try and put them all in order. So actually we would throw them in a basket because it was a lot of fun. Here's a cup though. We'll keep them in there. Okay. All right, so that's the thought. Have some fun with recognizing your letters and your numbers, and maybe even in order, which would be really cool. All right, lastly, there's one more song that I think that I will sing today. And I know that it's actually in my little songbook in my classroom. So some of you might remember it, okay? It's called The Bear Went Over the Mountain. Are you ready? I hope you'll sing with me. It's a lot of repetition. So, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to see what she could see, to see what she could see, to see what she could see. And all that she could see was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain was all that she could see. The bear went across the river, the bear went across the river, the bear went across the river to see what she could see. And all that she could see, and all that she could see was the other side of the river, the other side of the river, the other side of the river was all that she could see. The bear went through the forest, the bear went through the forest, the bear went through the forest to see what she could see. and all that she could see, and all that she could see was the other side of the forest, the other side of the forest, the other side of the forest was all that she could see. The bear climbed up a big tree, the bear climbed up a big tree, the bear climbed up a big tree to see what she could see, and all that she could see, and all that she could see was the forest, river, and mountain, the forest, river, and mountain, the forest, river, and mountain was all that she could see. So I hope you guys have fun with that song. You guys are such good singers in my class, and I hope that you are dancing at home and maybe play some of this stuff on YouTube and get cooking, because of that freeze dance. And there's a couple more. I'm gonna have to maybe break one of those out on one of my future videos. So I have a lot of fun with you guys. I do miss you. Hope you're doing well at home, and I will be back next week to make another video and read you another story. Take care.